Story I'm going to tell you, you're not going to believe. But every word of it's true. I know because it happened to me. And enough about me. We really don't have time for that. And by we, I do mean me. Dick Piston, hotel detective. It's a Friday night in the big city, and on a Friday night, you'll find me making my rounds at the Lakeview Hotel. Two-bit armpit on the upside to downtown. Anytime before midnight, that is. After midnight, you'll find me drinking my proverbial sorrows at the 5-star dive bar in the lobby of that hotel. But 10 minutes to midnight, I'm always here, in my office, watching the clock. Not that I'm a proverbial stickler for whatever punctual people stickle for, and not that I couldn't use the overtime. But my employer made it very clear anyone who did use overtime would be spending all of their time Xeroxing resumes at the discount copy shop on the corner. You see, the hotel had been wallowing in Reading for quite some time, and it was likely to continue hemorrhaging potential money until it stopped hemorrhaging potential hotel guests. Only wish that was a metaphor. You see, the Lakeview Hotel had the highest mortality rate of any luxury accommodations west of Baghdad or east of Baghdad or in Baghdad. So, in fact, as hotel detective, I have personally investigated 6 unsolved murders in the last 5 weeks and committed 4. So management wasn't entirely happy with my proverbial job performance. That's why they told me anyone who did use even a minute of overtime would be out of a proverbial job, literally. By anyone, they meant me, Dick Piston, hotel detective. And that's why at Friday night, I have my proverbial eyes glued to the literal clock. Because when that clock strikes 12, my Friday night nightmares become somebody else's Saturday morning problems. So if my luck holds true.
Mr. Pitson, I need your help.
Lady Luck, you could set your watch by her.
I need your help, Mr. Pitson.
Afraid I'm not the man you're looking for.
You're not Dick Pitson,
No, I'm not helpful.
but you are the hotel detective.
For 9 more minutes I am. But I'm afraid there's not going to be a 10th, so if it's anything more time-consuming than a stuck pickle jar, going to have to refer you to the day shift.
Mr. Pitson, please, you have to help me. I'm the victim of a crime.
Well, unless that crime is unnecessary witness, I really don't see how I can help it in the time allotted.
It's not unnecessary wetness.
Are you sure? I got a blow jar in my desk.
Mr. Pitson, please, you can't just turn your back on me.
Not in that outfit, no.
So you will help me?
For 8 more minutes I will, but I'm afraid that's all the time we have.
Will that be enough?
Depends on the crime. What's yours?
I believe they call it murder.
You do know what murder is, right?
It's the one where somebody kills someone else, right?
That's the one.
Yay!
Oh boy. Alright, I'll take your case. But I'm also going to set an egg timer. When this goes off, no questions asked. Case dismissed.
Oh, thank
That
you.
understood?
Thank you, Mr. Pitson. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
You coming here in a towel is thanks enough.
You're welcome.
Now, if you have a seat, I have a phone call to make.
But aren't you going to rush to my room and examine the scene of the crime?
Ordinarily I would, but we don't have that kind of time. Hello, front desk? Yes. Put me through to the kitchen.
What are you doing?
Ordering room service.
Will that help speed up the investigation?
Not at all.
Then why are you doing it?
Because no man in his right mind would ever be alone in a room with a woman in a towel. With at least a bottle of champagne, half order of oysters on the way. Hello, yes, Dick Piston here. I'll have the honeymoon special. Send it to my office pronto. And a box of condoms.
Thank you, Mr. Pitson. How can I ever repay you?
Well, there's condoms coming.
Mr. Pitson, I am a married woman.
You can never repay me.
How did you know this was a honeymoon?
Just tell me about your murder and get it over with. If we make this quick, I might still have time to Xerox some resumes before morning.
Well, I was upstairs in my room, taking a shower before dinner.
So you haven't eaten yet.
No, I haven't, but the honeymoon special sounds delicious.
And the murder took place in the bathroom,
No, in the bedroom.
after your shower.
No, during.
So you were shot in the shower by someone in the bedroom.
What makes you think I was shot?
Because if it was a stabbing, killer would have been in the same room with you.
My God, you think the killer was in the shower with me?
No, I think you were shot.
But I wasn't shot. Look!
Or stabbed, for that matter. It does look like you've had a close shave of some kind.
Oh, that's waxing, sir.
All right, given that you're not harmed in any way,
Have you ever been waxed?
what makes you say you think you were murdered?
Oh, I didn't say I was murdered.
You just said you were.
No, I said I was the victim of a crime.
And the crime is murder.
Oh, well done, Mr. Pitson. With your keen eye for detail, we'll have this case sewed up in no time.
Piston. If the crime is murder, you're the victim, why are you here?
Well, I had to report it now, didn't I? He was my husband after all.
The killer.
No, the killery.
So the murder victim is your husband?
Yes. He was shot in the head on the bed.
And is this how you were dressed when you discovered the body?
Yes. I had just stepped into the shower where I was nude. Can you imagine? When I heard what sounded like a gunshot and a blood-curdling scream. Naturally, I finished my shower, put on some makeup, and rushed to see what was the matter when I saw my husband dead on the bed with a slug in his head.
Were there any signs of forced entry?
Well, he'd been making hints all weekend. This is a honeymoon. I was kind of hoping.
To the room. I mean the room.
Oh. No, everything looked perfectly normal, except for that dead guy laying there.
You mean your husband?
Yes, that was his name. Guy.
And it was horrible?
Yes, brains everywhere.
Well, Mrs. Guy, normally this is the point in the investigation where I would rush up to your hotel room and examine the body, but since we're short on time, let's just cut to the proverbial chase.
Room service.
There we go. Right there for you, Mr. Preston. There's your killer.
Oh my. But how did you know that?
Was your husband clinically insane?
No, not clinically.
That's how I know.
I'm not sure I follow.
No time to explain. Oh, wait. There's 4 minutes. Allow me to explain. If there are no signs of forced entry to the room, then your husband must have let the killer inside. Which means your husband either knew the killer personally or expected him shortly. Bellhop, for example.
But why would my husband be expecting a bellhop?
Because your husband was not clinically insane. And because no man in his right mind would ever be alone in a room with a woman in a towel. And he knew you were about to enter the room dressed like that. Ugh. We know that your husband must have ordered something from room service.
It makes perfect sense.
And as you can see, the service at this hotel, incredibly prompt.
Yes, we ought to make sure to leave him a big tip.
Yes. So your husband's order must have arrived while you were still in the shower. Yet you haven't eaten.
Because there wasn't any food.
Exactly. If there are no edibles in evidence, then the killer must remove the food immediately to hide the fact that the killer came from the kitchen.
I don't know why I didn't see it before.
So your husband must have been murdered by the night shift bellhop, who gained access to your room under the pretense of delivering a romantic meal, which you never had the chance to enjoy, because after murdering your husband in cold blood and not wanting to leave any evidence that the killer was a part of hotel staff, he removed the telltale oysters and champagne, something that only a member of hotel staff would do, leaving in their place the even more telltale absence of oysters and champagne, which confirms his guilt.
But why would a bellhop want to kill my husband?
Because unbeknownst to your late husband, this man was having an extramarital affair with his wife.
You're married?
To you. Having an affair with you.
Why would you say that?
Because you still haven't asked the one question any widow in her right mind would ever ask in this situation. Why would this bellhop want to kill my husband?
But I did ask.
You did? When?
Just a second ago. It was practically the first thing that popped into my head.
Oh. Well, never mind.
Mr. Pitson, you really haven't been listening to a word I've been saying now, have you?
For God's sakes, woman, you are wearing a towel.
That's no excuse to accuse me for being an adulteress, and even worse, an accomplice to murder.
You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's okay. Shame about the bellboy, though.
Yeah. Listen, my boss will have my proverbial head if she finds out I murdered another innocent bystander. Could we agree that this was just self-inflicted?
Of course, he looked suicidal the moment he walked in.
Aha!
No,
A likely story.
but it's your story.
Yes, but what widow in her right mind would ever agree to covering up the murder of a man who had nothing to do with her husband's murder, unless he had everything to do with her husband's murder, and she was in on it?
But that can only mean two things.
No one. It could only mean one.
I think you're forgetting a possibility, Mr. Pitson.
Oh, what's that?
That the widow may in fact not be in her right mind.
Well, this is kind of embarrassing. For both of us. Looks like I was wrong again, and we are almost out of time, so you're free to go.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Pitson. You may not have solved my husband's murder, but knowing I'm free of all charges is a huge load off my mind, or what little there is left of it. Ooh, how can I possibly thank you?
Well, there's oysters and champagne, and I am off in 2 minutes. Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Neither did I.
You're alive, but that's impossible.
No, Piston, actually, you're just a terrible shot.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. You were right about us, you know. We were having a torrid affair together. Behind his back, over his body.
Oh.
I thought she loved me. Now I could see she was just using me to get rid of her husband.
A dead husband, airtight alibi. What makes you think she was using you, though?
Well, think about it. What kind of a woman is gonna throw herself in the arms of a second man to only get rid of the first man, who she clearly didn't love, and then throw herself into the arms of a third man, some third-rate hotel detective, who she clearly didn't feel anything for either?
Well, if you just waited a little bit, that might have changed.
Give it up, Piston. We're all victims here.
Well, actually, no, not me.
No? Well, like if you give me a minute, I can correct that.
Wow, look at the time.
Looks like yours is quite up, Dick Piston, hotel detective.
But why would you want to hurt me? I haven't done anything wrong. Except shoot you a minute ago.
I think you may have missed an idea that I'm in fact not in my right mind either.
No, I took that into account when you murdered 2 people at your place of work.
Yes, well, what was that?
Your luck running out.
No, it sounded more like an egg time.
Case dismissed. It's Saturday morning. My proverbial work here is done. Literally.